I traveled 9,000 miles just so I can play the most anticipated VR game of the year. But what game is that? It's Batman Arkham Shadow, of course. And in this video, I'm going to share my very first impressions of the game and everything you need to know about the combat and gameplay, while also doing it very jet lagged. First up, a massive thank you to Meta for flying me all the way to Cologne, Germany to attend Gamescom, which is the biggest gaming convention in the world. It was such an awesome experience to experience Gamescom. I've always wanted to go, and there were so many VR games to try, and it was just a really cool experience. At this event, they also revealed the gameplay trailer for Batman Arkham Shadow, so we got to sit in the audience where they unveiled all the gameplay trailers for different games, and that was very, very cool. And of course, I got the very special opportunity to be involved in a secret gameplay session where I got to try Batman Arkham Shadow for the very first time. But before we discuss the gameplay, here's everything you need to know. Batman Arkham Shadow follows on from the events from the 2013 Batman Arkham Origins game. And in this installment, it's placed on the 4th of July, and Gotham City is under attack from the mysterious Rat King villain and his plague of cult followers. Batman fans get to meet Dr. Quinzel and Crane before they became Harley Quinn and Scarecrow, and there's also iconic locations such as the Monarch Theatre and the Bowery. This game is developed by the Meta-owned studio Camouflage, who also made the Iron Man VR game, which is a really, really good game, so I was excited to see what they could do with this franchise. And Batman Arkham Shadow is due out in October, but it is a MetaQuest 3 exclusive title, so sorry Quest 2 fans, you won't be able to play this one. But let's jump into the gameplay. So I only got to play a demo, so I don't know if this will be the beginning of the game or a midway of the game, or if it was something especially designed for us. But they start you off in an underground sewer system, and I have to say, when you first load in and you see the Batman shadow, it was very, very cool and got me pretty excited. You also get to see the Batboat as well, and the voice of Batman feels very Batman-y.
Alfred, what's the situation?
Like straight up loading into the game, you feel like you're in Gotham and you feel like you're playing a Batman game, which is what you want. Graphics wise, I was really impressed with the visuals, and sometimes the gameplay footage doesn't always do it justice, but it felt like I was playing a AAA game. Just to confirm, I was playing on the standalone Quest version, and all this footage is captured on a Quest as well. The footage you're seeing though isn't my own actual gameplay, it's just kind of like standard gameplay they've given us, but it's essentially the same thing of what I played. So the demo has you moving through the sewers, and you kind of have audio interaction with Alfred, and he's kind of used to give you prompts in the games in terms of like objectives and maps, so you kind of have access to a map throughout the game as well, so you don't get lost. And I wouldn't say this game felt linear or anything. You are able to kind of move around the environment and kind of explore things and go back to things, but there is kind of like a clear objective that you have to get to. There's also like Easter eggs and unlockables you can look for as well. There's like these Rat King kind of radios that you can find around the map and break, and also these little like rat kind of ornament things that you can smash as an achievement, and they look really cool as well. So there's also an upgrade tree in the game where it looks like you can invest points into different aspects of the game that you enjoy the most, like if you want to be more of a stealthy predator, or if you want to focus more on action combat. It shows you can invest points into gadgets, shadow, combat, predator, or the batsuit. I don't have all the details on that, but it's cool that you have those options to invest your points. And I am not a stealth girly, so I hate being forced to do stealth in games, so it would be good if I can invest points into more combat aspects of the game, which is more my style. In terms of gameplay mechanics, there is a grapple, which is used a lot to kind of navigate around the environment, mostly vertically. Also a lot for predator gameplay, which I'll talk about later. And then you have my favorite mechanic, which is the bat cape. Essentially, all you do is hold your arms out and press the trigger, and then activates the cape and flies you towards wherever your eyesight is looking. And this was such a cool like Batman moment. And then you got your batarang, which is of course the bat symbol on your chest, which you can pick up and kind of use with enemies, or you can use it with different aspects around the game to trigger story elements like disabling elevators and things like that. And then we have the combat. Now, after watching the gameplay trailer, I was like, damn, that combat looks really fun, but can they pull it off? And I'm glad to say they really, really nailed the combat. Like for me, it's the best aspect of the game. So when we did the demo, it does run you through like a training sim, which isn't shown in this gameplay, but essentially when you see the punch icon over an enemy, you then do a physical punch and it will teleport you to that enemy, and that'll give you prompts for a series of combo moves. So a circle is a single punch, or the circles may say like 1, 2, 3 in different locations. There's also like arrow icons, which is kind of like an uppercut, like a directional punch in different ways. And the combat just keeps moving you through different enemies. There's a lot of variation as well in how you approach the combat as well. Like some fall on the ground and then you can kind of pummel them. There's like two-hand punch down gesture, and you can kind of pummel them while they're on the ground. And if you get all the combos, you get more points at the end. There's also a straight parry movement, which I can't remember, but I think it's like just a straight hand, and that kind of parries the enemy's attack. You can also use your batarang to attack the enemies as well. But something they've done with this combat, which is really, really interesting and works really well, is this like side parry move. So if you're attacking one enemy, if you see like a blue arm icon show up on the side, you can then do a punch like sideways, and that then turns you to start attacking the other enemy. And this system works really, really well. So you can be fighting one guy, and then you turn, start fighting the other guy, and then turn, go back to another guy, and then turn, go back to the original guy you're fighting. And it just flows really, really well and kind of activates like that flow state, and you're able to just seamlessly get a bunch of combos, and it just feels really nice to play. So another feature of the gameplay mechanics is like this detective vision mode, and that's activated by just pressing the trigger up near your face. And it allows you to basically x-ray walls and see electrical lines, or it'll let you see enemy location. Also comes in handy for finding vents, like if you're a bit stuck or if you want to use stealth on an enemy, you can kind of scan the area and be like, okay, there's a vent there, I can use that way to get around. In the demo we played, you eventually do leave the sewer, and of course there's a bat signal moment in the sky, which is very, very cool. And in this area, this is where we start to discover more of the stealth slash predator move. So you can sneak up on baddies and kind of grab them from behind. And again, those kind of combo moves are slightly different, but the same kind of gameplay. Now we have a part of the demo which utilizes more of the predator mode. And the goal with this section of this game is to take out enemies without being seen, because these guys have guns and Batman isn't invincible. And those familiar with the Arkham games will probably find this kind of gameplay familiar, because this is more your aerial stealth combat. So in this section, you have these like gargoyle things that Batman can grapple onto, and you can also kind of hang from the gargoyles as well. And then from there, you can take down an enemy where you kind of pull them up, kind of bash them up a little bit, and then hang them from the gargoyle, which is pretty cool. But you can also just take down enemies from above by jumping on them and then pummeling them. And in this section, you've unlocked a smoke bomb. So you can kind of jump on someone, fight them a little bit, drop a smoke bomb, and then yeet out of there and jump back on a gargoyle so you can take down the next guy. There's also things like vents, so you can utilize for kind of like sneaking up on people, or if they've spotted you, you can kind of use them to hide away from the bad guys. Now this whole predator section was quite difficult. I did die quite a few times. Again, I'm not a stealth girly, but once I actually slowed down and tried to slowly take down the enemies one by one, I did eventually get it. But it was lots of fun, and it's cool that we kind of have those two elements of gameplay, like that predator stealth element and then the more kind of running combat style. So I like those two aspects of the game. So yeah, that pretty much sums up all the gameplay mechanics and my experience with the game. It was only like a short, like 30-minute demo, I think, so I can't comment on too much. And to be honest, I really loved my experience with Batman Arkham Shadow. Like, it felt like I was playing a AAA Batman game. I feel really positive about its release. Like, I think people will genuinely enjoy this game. It just feels really seamless and smooth, and it feels like a good fit for VR. Like the combat especially, like it just feels good. I'm curious to see the reception from non-VR gamers who are maybe Batman fans but don't own VR. Like, will we see them buying VR just to play this game, and will they enjoy it? I don't know, I'm curious about that. But as a VR gamer, I love the game. But of course, I only played a demo, so I can only comment on what I experienced, and I really enjoyed what I did experience. So I'm definitely keen to stream this game on my channel, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications if you want to catch my live streams. And as always, if you watch this video all the way through, don't forget to write banana in the comments, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!